Nothing in families runs smoothly, though.
I mean, with business, working with...
You are the business-minded one.
I was always running the business with Dad and everything else.
So Jamie and I met through a mutual friend. Jamie had started BurgerFi, and there was a burger called the CEO Burger, and everyone was talking about it. So, of course, I had to meet the guy that had the CEO Burger. So I met Jamie, and I was like, wow, he is like a whirlwind. I wasn't friends with him because of who he was. I was friends with him because I liked his character. And being the child of a rock star, what a great friend to have. And Jo, if I can look like Jo when I turn 40, let alone 70, she's unreal. And what an aspiration to have her on my pin-up board. We're going to hear the chemistry between them is electric. It's unlike any other mother and son duo I've ever seen. It's super exciting to have you both on our Mumtrepreneur podcast. So thank you for joining us.
Thanks for inviting us. Amazing.
Lovely to be here.
Yeah,
Isn't it fun?
It is. I've never done a podcast with Mum before. So
we've got two dynamic duos here. And that's actually where I'd like to start the conversation. How does this dynamic duo work?
Oh, complicated web.
Let me see. I have never thought about that. I'm very close with Jamie. I think we're very close. He calls me all the time.
Excellent.
Checking on me, really. It's like, what are you up to? Anyway, but we've always, when you were doing your business, which one was it? In the Outer Sanctum.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
And then when you looked after Ronnie, and then after Ronnie, you looked after me.
There was some looking after that was needed, but I suppose the dynamic between us has always been, listen, it's my mum, I love her, I respect her, of course, and I'd walk in front of her, put it for anything. It's my mum, it's the most important thing. Second, I suppose, well, equal to the wife, important woman in my life.
We'll get that in, don't leave that out.
Yeah,
I don't get in trouble. But she's always been annoying. It's things.
Joe, annoying. Never.
Things were good. Things were good till about sort of 14, 15. I was McDonald's every once a week.
I know what you're talking about.
There was good. There was like Cheerios and Captain Crunch in the cupboard, and there was also suddenly I've come back. And everything's gone. My ball in the bag curry's gone. The McDonald's stopped on the Thursday.
Explain that.
It's just suddenly there was this wheatgrass and there was weird things growing that she would grind and have shots with. And I'm like, Mum, what's happened?
Who are you?
So what happened was I was misdiagnosed with Crohn's disease. And after 2 years of being on steroids, I did an article in the Express and it said, Stone's wife in incurable disease. And I got hundreds and hundreds of letters. And one of those, and I sat, the Express sent the box over and I sat on the floor and I opened them all.
Wow.
And I read them all. And there was one letter that said, I will put your Crohn's disease into remission for life if you come and see me. And I did. And he was what was he? He was not a herbalist. He was a herbalist. Yeah, he was a herbalist. And I'd never known about herbalists or taken any notice or anything like that. So I drove down to his house in Hastings and the front door, it said Shangri-La at the top. And I sat down there with him, and in that day, he changed my life forever.
Wow.
And he said, the first thing he said to me is, what do you eat? And is, what do you eat? And I just told him what I fed the family and everything. And then he started telling me about food. This is in 1991.
Wow.
And he started telling me about food. He taught me about GMOs, GMO food. He taught me about pesticides. He taught me everything in that afternoon. And I sat there and I thought, why have we come so far from nature? And he said, I'm going to put you on a detox. And what's a detox, for God's sake? The only detox I knew was not drinking. So he put me on this detox, and I started to feel wonderful because the steroids made me feel like I lost my soul. And after about 4 months, I went to stay with my friend Lorraine down in the country, and I got these terrible pains. She got organised it and rushed me into hospital. They did exploratory surgery on me and found I had a perforated appendix that they couldn't understand why I was still alive.
Wow.
Wow.
And I laid in hospital and I thought, if I hadn't detoxed my body, I would have most probably never survived.
Yeah.
And then it began.
And then it was all different at
And then it
home.
began. It was dreadful. Yeah.
I changed everything apart, everything.
I left.
He left because he couldn't stand
I
the
left
word
home. 16, I was gone. I was gone. I was out. I was out of there.
But I became obsessed with it all. I loved it and still do to this day. And then it went from what I was eating to what was I putting on my skin.
Yeah.
And I read a book, What's in Your Makeup? And it was all sort of, I was mad, wasn't I? I even took on tour the first crop of potatoes that I grew, and I took to Paris in a suitcase. And I took them backstage to the backstage chef, and I said...
She took it to new levels, this stuff.
I bet Bonnie was like,
She took it to new levels.
I said, will you cook these up, please? So they cooked them up, and I had a sign that says, Joe's New Potatoes. And then Keith came to me and he said, the trouble with you, darling, is you're addicted to organic food. I said, Keith, coming from you, that's incredible. Anyway.
Yeah, it went on. It went on. It went on, and then you built that. We built that mini portable kitchen that you could take on the road.
oh, this is
So I could cook.
the business journey starts.
And then I was sitting talking to Donna, and my brother had bought me a book called The Fragrant Pharmacy, and in that book it told you how to make up face oils and body oils and all that. And so I was sitting talking to Donna, and who used to work for us, and I said, look, this is my oil I've just done. And she said, why don't you do it properly, Joe? I said, nah. She said, do it properly. So then I saw my friend Josephine Farley, who started Green and Black's chocolate. And she gave me the formulator, and I went to see her. And that's how Joe Wood Organics began.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And Jamie ran that.
Yeah, so I got involved. To me at the time, I thought, she destroyed my life so much that I tried to embrace the fact that we went organic. And
I loved that journey.
the products were great. We got some great distribution. We had Holt Renfrey in America. We had Bergdorf and Goodman and Harvey Nicks and everything else. And it was good. It was a bit, probably looking back now, it was probably a little bit ahead of its time. I don't think in them days organic meant what it does today.
Yeah, I remember sitting with a beauty journalist. I was absolutely buzzing, because I'd got into Harvey Nicks and I was doing interviews, and she laughed at me. She said, do you think this is going to go anywhere, Joe? I said, yeah. It's so important what you put on your skin because it goes straight into your bloodstream. And she laughed at me. Years later,
Now,
I did another interview with her, and she said, before we start, I did that interview and I laughed at you about your organic. She said, I just want to apologise.
Amazing. What a win. That's a big win. Big tick.
win.
Huge
Yeah.
win.
What's interesting then, Jamie, how was it being the son, of a very famous rock star,
Yeah.
and secondly with Joe as the helm of kind of, doing the business on the side? How was that being involved? What was that relationship like, and how tough was
I suppose different times for that. I suppose when I was growing up, it was annoying. It was full of annoyingness. Kids, I went to lots of different schools. I'd walk into a school, everyone would stare at me. It was.
That was your own paranoia.
No. Don't you remember in Paris when that weird convent you took me to, and then we went in, and you were like, there's nuns everywhere, and then they all turned around and they were told not to ask for autographs and all this before I even got. It was awful. It was awful. But and then at home it was interesting. It was our house was very much party central. So anyone in that house at any given time was there to party, and it was loud, and it was like, and they partied all night. So constantly, I'm in my room. I could hear the hear the thing, and there was all madness around. But I have to say that I survived, and you know what? I come out of that. Lots of people think that, that must have been, terrible. Your parents were on drugs, but actually, because of Mum, I think the way she raised us at the time. I think it give us stability. I've never not felt loved. I've never not felt that I'm alone. I've always felt I can go to my mum with anything, maybe too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you give me far too much information.
I just vouch for that.
Yeah.
I first or two, because we know the stories. So I think it works both ways in your dynamic.
Yeah, so definitely, but no matter all the craziness, I'm sure there's plenty of other crazy families that are growing up where their kids don't feel that way, and I've always felt, maybe didn't get that from Dad so much, but certainly from Mum.
Yeah, I
always
love my kids so much.
A good mum.
And you say other kids, so how many children do you have in total?
I've got a stepson, Jesse, and I've got my daughter, Leah, and my youngest son, Tyrone.
And how does that dynamic work with you and your siblings?
They're useless. They're not the greatest uncle and auntie. They're not very good at that type of stuff. So I've given up.
Do you think in business, because I suppose I grew up in Gary, my situation is family business. I was the gopher. I want to say run of the litter. Definitely, that's how I felt at the time growing up. And my brother was quite senior in the business, and I suppose I was always playing catch up. Do you think, from your opinion, there's a relationship, I say jealousy, but a position because of how close you two are? Because I see that the responsibility for your business.
I think so. I definitely think so. That especially my youngest son, I think gets jealous of Jamie. Yeah,
because I'm the big daddy.
Yeah,
he's the head.
The eldest. You got to run the roost. You're the big daddy. Yeah. So if the younger, he's 10 years younger as well. It's not like there's 4 years difference. I mean, my sister, maybe we've had a little bit more of a clashing upbringing from day dot. She's only 4 years younger, but she's very difficult. They're very difficult brothers and sisters.
Nothing in families runs smoothly, though.
I mean, with business, working with...
You are the business-minded one.
I was always
the
running the business with Dad and everything else, and, try... In hindsight, probably now, I probably wouldn't have done the same things. I wouldn't have worked with him, because it ended up maybe fractionate, especially at the end. It ended up a bit of fractionation. He ran off and left me with everything, and then sort of hid away, and then the lawyers came at he let the lawyers sort of come at me.
Yeah, well, he was
different. He was a drunk and drug addict, and the lawyers he didn't like to deal. He doesn't like to deal with things. Yeah, he passes it on to others. So they're very black and white. There was no contracts. I didn't think I needed one. I'm never going to sue my dad. Nothing, any of that. So you just sort of walk away.
Is there a business lesson there?
Yeah.
Have a contract.
Have a contract.
But even with your dad, is maybe I should have been a bit more clearer. But I think at the time, they'd just been ripped off. I had my own businesses. I had a big events company. I was working for Deutsche Bank. I was doing all the AGMs. I was doing really good. And he got in trouble. They lost all their money. It was chaos. They had you guys.
Oh yeah.
They had the Harrington. Yeah. They had a members club in South London. They'd lost 6 or 7 million on. It was a disaster.
So my ex-husband's manager came to us and said, "Here's a great opportunity to do a private members club, and they need to put in 1 million, wasn't it, at first?"
Yeah, it was just 1 million or 2, yeah.
And so they did that, and they ripped out, it was the old Pineapple Dance Studio.
Oh, yeah.
And so they gutted it and started again. And then Nick was supposed to get, the manager was supposed to get other people investors.
And licenses and prospectuses.
And he didn't. So we put in more money. And then we put in more money. And then they said, "Joe, will you do the interiors?" I was like, "Oh, yes, please."
So then she spent more money.
Yeah.
So
2 million's now 20.
Yeah, it went.
It was such a beautiful club.
It was beautiful. It was a spa, it was a restaurant, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful job.
First organic restaurant.
Oh, there she is. That's why she was hooked.
Oh, yes. So they knew how to hook her. That's for sure.
And then we put in millions. Millions we put in.
7 or 8
but
million.
it was fabulous. And then the guy that owned the building, what was his name? He's
Edwards.
dead now.
Something Edwards. Horrible man.
Yeah.
They had this horrible deal they had with him. The lease was disgusting. They had on the hook for 230 grand a quarter. It was.
And then he came and said to us, "You need to put in more money, otherwise you got to walk away." So I went and found a good lawyer to look at the contract. He said it was one of the worst contracts he'd ever seen.
Yeah, so it was a disaster. So then I came in and I looked around what we had, and it was, sources of income. And the main thing really at the time, there was no Stones tour going on. I know the Stones tour would generate 15, 20 million, but there was, none of that was happening or looked like it was happening. So Dad's a great artist. So we started promoting him as an artist, and it went mad. I think at the end I was doing maybe $5 or $6 million turnover just on selling his prints. We were selling originals for.
He became the biggest print artist in America.
300,000 or 400,000 per original. So we were.
Wow, that was exciting.
Yeah, rocking over sort of an 8 to 10 year period, and publishing was great. We'd get him to do a painting, and then we'd make three different colorways of that painting, and 300 each edition, and sell for $1,000 a pop. And they were sold out every gallery. It was easy. The press were dying for something. The press were dying for something new to talk about. The Rolling Stones were, a bit boring to talk about probably. So we were getting the front pages.
They weren't boring either.
Yeah, we were getting the front pages, and he was quite easy to promote. In all fairness, but it was good, and that sort of got us back on track. And then next thing you know, he got a tour, and then we were back. We had debts were cleared.
Yeah,
we had money in the bank.
That place has just become a reopened as called Nexus.
Yeah. It's what's the name?
Where was that?
Kensington. That's where the club was. Yeah.
I owns Tottenham. Joe Lewis's family bought it. So
did you tour together as a family?
Yeah,
I worked on tour.
He worked on tour when he was at his most mischievous.
Oh, what was that like as mum?
He came to me after being on tour a few months. He said, "I can't stand it, Mum. I've got to go home." I said, "No son of mine is going to go home. You've got to stick it out."
I don't quite remember this.
Nice.
Well,
I remember that. You were all upset. All the crew were horrible to you.
well, no, listen, it was tough. I was, then Daddy was in the band. But
so you really had to prove yourself.
So,
and you did.
Yeah, well, I became like a carpenter, and I was loading trucks, and
It was good for you.
Big synergy here, because I had a lot of that response, didn't I? I said to Cruises, I felt that.
Yeah, I felt it.
But it wasn't actually.
It spurred me on.
Yes, it was never said to me, but I felt it. And I even felt it from people that were close to us. Whereas Gary would say, my gap year, which he always talks about, the multiple gap years I had, the longest degree in the world, used to say that if you come to work for me, you're 1 minute late, I will sack you. And consequently, later in my career, when my father took over one of my companies that I needed some salvage, I was the first to go on a board meeting, on a call. He said, "You're too expensive, you're not adding value, you're off the payroll."
You're
I was
fired.
Dad, can I have a job, please? Yeah, but I felt that, and it
very much so.
It made that fire like
it does. You want to be accepted by them as well.
Yeah,
by the ones that are slagging you off.
At the end of that, your stint on tour, you came back home and you had nothing to do, and then you realised that there was only one other backstage furniture company in London that was doing all the big gigs, Madonna and...
So they had no dressing. So this furniture like this, they would have dressing room setups. There was no consistency with it. So I went to Italy, I bought a load of sofas.
So he came to us and said, "I need to start a business." And we went, "Yeah, all right." He said, "I want to do a backstage furniture business because there's no competition for this guy. And can I have 50 grand?
20.
Oh, it was 20.
20.
Oh, all right.
It was a long time ago. So
Yeah, it was a long time
it was a lot of money then.
and so we did, and he was off and running.
wow,
Yes, that was
Yeah.
amazing skill to pivot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I knew when I was working for my dad that it was a bit of a, I was only had the job because of him. I didn't think I wasn't some amazing entrepreneur. I was 19. I was a bit of a drug addict.
He was a nightmare.
He was
an absolute nightmare. That's why we put him on the tour.
Just keep an eye on him.
Yeah, and to straighten him out a bit.
Yeah, I was a bit, but you got to remember, drugs in my family were very, they were the table. It was, it was, the tour was definitely, I became an adult, but at the same time, I knew that once the tour had finished, I'm going to have to find some work, and I'm not going to be able to get other tours because my dad's not in that band. Yeah. So being a roadie was only for when really was the start. I mean, I worked for Harvey Goldsmith and stuff for a bit, but I knew I had to do something of my own, and that I probably wouldn't get.
You saw the opportunity, though, and you took it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's an entrepreneur, isn't it?
And it was good. Yeah, it was good. And then that led to people would start renting furniture for events. And then Deutsche Bank came, and I did Deutsche, and then they gave me a procurement contract, and then I started design and build, and that turned into like a big events business. And then they got in trouble with the housing club, and then I sort of not gave it up, but passed it. I sold the furniture company, and then I passed the other one over, and then focused on
Ronnie.
Getting all of you. I did Mum's organic business. I did Dad's all music and tax and art, and then my brother and sister were in a band. I put the band together for them. We had wooden records. I was flying. Yeah. So it was. I had a lot of good things. Going. It was good.
Yeah, I get an undertone, and I know you, so it's a little bit difficult. But I feel like the undertone I'm hearing is that you did more and more and more, but I think that was to prove I can do this by myself too. Because I think being in shadows is quite tough. Yeah, that definitely was dry.
I needed to make them money though. I needed Mum to
not
have,
worry.
I didn't, they were, the house was in the red. It was, they'd lost.
That was a horrible time.
They lost a lot of money. So my sort of anything that I cared about and all the money I made was always, for Mum and Dad.
Yeah.
Just, they paid me a little wage in return, and that was good enough, I think, so yeah, I should have had the contract.
Yeah.
I should have had 20%, I should have done. In hindsight, I didn't know he was going to run off with a hooker, and the lawyers took me out, but that is what it is.
Everything sort of stopped at that, didn't it? Everything sort of came to a sudden halt when he'd gone.
I mean, it was
all about readjusting and finding our feet again.
Yeah, I mean, you had to sell the house, you had to do this, you had to, it was... I
couldn't stay in that big house by myself anyway. I didn't want to.
Yeah, no,
whilst I was in the house, I had a good idea. I had a big vegetable garden, big house, and I thought, I'm going to do a pop-up restaurant.
Lovely.
So I started Mrs. Paisley's Lashings.
Wow.
And I got my friend Arthur Potts Dawson to come and cook. And he'd go out and cook, pick the vegetables, and people would be in the house waiting for dinner, and they could see their vegetables that were going to be on their plate in an hour, go back into the kitchen. And I absolutely loved doing that.
It was good, and it was a good distraction.
All organic wine, all organic spirits. It was fab. I loved it.
It was good, and it was an important time to have something like that going on. And she had lots of support. It's everyone that came to the restaurant was always,
and then I did Strictly Come Dancing.
Yeah, and
and so I was off on my solo career.
I think Gary probably want to touch on that because Gary's my mum was a medalist, so Latin American and ballroom, and Gary learnt to dance when I learnt to dance, and then I stopped because I found boys and going out, and Dad carried on dancing.
Oh, but yeah.
I want to just circle back. So,
can we have a little demonstration?
Yeah, no, we can do. We'll do a live demo. We'll do a little cha-cha-cha.
Oh, Mum, get in there, man. Bring back the old...
anything, and I've got bad ankle.
No dancing shoes on in. I just wanted to touch back on, because it's a really interesting point. When that happened with your dad and it fell apart, as the child of that situation, you've got the pressure of business, keeping the house alive. How did you feel in that moment about the situation?
Well, I didn't know, but I didn't know that he was, I didn't know that he would turn the back on us like he did. I didn't expect him to do and behave like he did. He sort of disappeared.
And how did it make you feel?
I'm trying to remember at the time. Confused. It was tough. I'd expected more support from him. I'd done a lot for him, and I just thought that it would go both ways. But no, it didn't. And you always sort of forgive someone like him because he's a messed up rock star. It's like there's not much you can. That's just the way he is. That's what people say. Oh, that's Ronnie. That's he doesn't consider anyone else or selfish sort of rock star type dude. So he was doing his thing, and at the time as well, it was a little bit embarrassing.
It doesn't matter now, does it?
It was, no, but it was the press were following us. It was him all over the paper all summer with this young girl, and it was a bit.
That sucked.
And there were lots of people slagging him off and calling him a weirdo, and it was difficult. It was a difficult at the time.
Taking that energy and bottling it, do you think that really life-changing experience, because of all the feelings you had, then spurred you on to do what you're doing today?
It spurred me on, but I think it spurred me to make mistakes. I think I was so desperate to achieve things on my own that I made mistakes and got involved in businesses that I probably shouldn't have. I remortgaged my house. I opened a burger joint all on my own, no one else's money.
BurgerFi.
That was CEO Burger.
Yeah,
Rav Heyer took me there. That was back in the
It was
day.
great. It was a great burger. It was a great restaurant. I put my own money in. I raised another $1 million as well from a friend. That was supposed to,
But then you had your heart attack.
Yeah, and then I had a heart attack, and then I lost it all. And then I lost the house, and I lost everything. So it was a journey, a tough one. But what I did from that is I found my niche. I found what I always wanted to do. My whole life, I was always doing stuff that I didn't really want to do. I was working for Dad. I was doing art. I was doing events. Nothing. Even the events company, it wasn't me doing it. Someone else was doing it. I was getting the work in. But it was, so I didn't feel, and then I found cannabis really, and the science of cannabis. So I went to America and I studied for a bit, and I did a course and I did some exams about CBD and extraction and about medical properties and all this. And I got involved in a clinic in the UK, put some money into that, and it doesn't do very well, but it's still helping people. But then that felt. I was doing my own podcasts and I was doing my own, it felt like I'd come out of that shadow and I was doing something for myself, which even though it was in a tough industry that wasn't quite legal yet. And then, cannabis isn't legal, but CBD was. But then I also found that I got this, I wasn't expecting it. I was helping people and they were loving me for it. And they were like, you've cured me from this and you've cured me from that. And I'm like, oh my God, this is, as I learned more about the cannabis and RCB1 receptors and, different amino acids and how things work. And then I did the 360 from slagging mum off about her things and then embraced, and then medical mushrooms came into it, and then wormwood and different herbs, and then I started doing herbalism courses.
See, I'd ring him up and say, oh my God, I've just found this great powder. It's called He Chu Wu and it does this, and the Chinese have done it for years. And then he'd obviously go off and investigate it. And then maca powder. I've been taking maca powder for years and years, but you never took any notice of it until recently.
So start putting in Blank Street Coffee.
So then that sort of came back round, with the CBD business that I had with the medical mushrooms. Then I looked at Mum, and Mum's got Joe Wood Organics, and that had been flagging since the divorce. It hadn't really got.
Well, because I did all other things, didn't I? I was doing TV and stuff like that.
It's a great brand.
It's a great brand.
It's a great brand.
I relaunched it in 2018, and I just
another 300 grand down the toilet.
No, I sell it now, but I'm sort of it's sort of dwindling out now, isn't it?
It's not so much that. It was we wanted a licensing deal, the running of the business. And
I'm useless at running business.
It was.
I'm a creative.
It was.
I'm not a business person. That's why I need him.
So I've come along with the pills and stuff and the longevity.
The funny thing is, Jamie rings me. Yeah. So now I'm fully invested. Lucy and Gary. Here.
I go to her.
Yeah. I think Mum said, it's like she's talking about honey powders again.
She's more professional. Mum.
Jamie, I love the fact that when you was doing that, you went to America to learn, and it's just so important.
Yeah.
So it's a great lesson in business, isn't it? It's just
I had to know what I was talking about, and I love it. I learn every day. I've got my lab. I mean, if the other side of the plant was fully legal, I'd be in heaven right now. But it will. I mean, with the medical cannabis company that we have, it does okay, but people are just still reluctant to join, and I think the people are sort of joining it so they can get a prescription so that I get caught driving. That's most of.
Is that like a secret tip, or?
Yeah.
So the interesting part now is that I suppose lots of people listening won't know the dynamic today. So let's talk about that and your products that you've got and how you're making that work. Because at what stage you decide to join forces and make our new product, Longevity?
Well, I went to him and I said, Jamie, I want to do my own powder. Should I get it white labelled or something, wasn't it? Yeah.
She wanted a mushroom because I wanted to use... This is her life. I mean, I looked at her lifestyle. I mean, she's 70 years old.
Unbelievable.
She looks like she's, 50.
Unbelievable.
I mean, so she's like for me, she's the perfect business for me. For the spokesman for that business. I mean, especially at the time as well, she had like this weird 40-year-old boyfriend as well.
All right.
So she had this weird dude at the time, and it just clicked. I just thought
that's what I wanted to do.
She lives that life.
Yeah,
mushrooms and
pills and great supplements and drops, and I love it, and the food and how pure is this and how pure is that. I'm a bit obsessed by it all. Well, it's Gerald Green's fault. Anyway, so I went to Jamie and I said, I want to do a powder that you can just put a scoop in your coffee like I do every day. And he said, why don't we put some mushrooms in that and do a longevity pill? Is that your phone? I thought you said you'd turn it off.
I thought I did as well. I think I might have stood the other way around and turned it on.
Anyway, so I went to Jamie.
God's sake.
I went to Jamie and he said, well, why don't we do a collaboration where I'll put the mushrooms in and you do your 3 powders, so 3 roots.
And by this time I had a lab, I had a little warehouse. I've got 4 or 5 people in there making mushroom tablets because I was selling CBD with mushrooms the whole time I was, that time. And so I said, these mushrooms are going great for me. Let's come up with a recipe and let's work.
So we put in lion's mane for the brain, turkey tail for your white blood cells, cordyceps for energy, and then we've got He-Chew Woo for strong bones and hair and nails, astragalus for immune health, and maca for hormone balance.
Which got a bit of trouble with maca because they don't like it. You can't sell it.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Can't sell it on TikTok.
Won't let us put maca in. Maca is such a brilliant.
It's because it's hormonal.
Okay.
It's so brilliant, especially for women. Balances your hormones. It also is very good for your sex life.
Yeah, I've got a couple of pounds that swear to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a really, and yet they won't let us use it.
Interesting. Well, just in the advertising?
Just on their platform, like on Shopify and things like that.
Is that because of where it's...
Because it's so good.
It's because of it, basically. Yeah.
Oh, I know how you feel about this.
Because it works.
That's a whole different conversation.
That's a whole different conversation.
It works.
But yeah, and so then we did a little collab together, longevity collab with Woodies and Joe Wood Organics. It was called Joe Woodies.
Joe Woodies, and then it looked a bit naff, so we changed
it to longevity. And then it was going good. We had that good collab, and then we started and it's different. The world has changed now. When I was younger, we would, sell a product. You'd do some press. You'd have a party. You'd get some people in, and then the product would go out there. And now we've got Facebook advertisements. So I've just lost 12 grand advertising, and it's I don't know what I'm doing, and that's why I can't.
It's difficult. I have no idea.
New stuff is all this like TikTok and it's just so algorithms and what was it, all them keywords and search words and SEO. I'm like, mate, really? Luce, help me.
I know I got this call from Jamie not so long ago.
Help me,
Luce. I was like, right, let's line up the meetings. Let's get some good people in.
Just get me the once we got the pathway sorted, we'll follow the pathway, but I can't just be.
And I can't let you draw your own path because
you're drawing the path we're going to follow.
That's like a corkscrew roller coaster over there.
The yellow brick road.
Just come up with ideas.
That's fine. This is how it's going to work.
Yeah. So the Strictly, how was that? How did you enjoy that?
God, I loved it.
Yeah.
I was very nervous to do it. And it was my mum that said, Josephine, I will be so proud of you if you did Strictly. So I thought, go for it, Joe.
It's tough though.
For me, it was tough. I'd only been single for
a year,
yeah. And it was like stepping out there. But I had Brendan Cole as my dance partner. And we got on like a house on fire. I loved every day because we'd rehearse and we'd have coffee and we'd chat. And I hated the Saturday night when there was a list of everybody and your name was
sweating.
Like, coming up next. It's coming up next. Am I going to remember? But it's amazing. You do. I mean, I wasn't that good, but I got the public vote every week. They brought me back. And that was...
It was synthetic to you. And I think it was an amazing, for me, watching her evolve on that show was an amazing, it's just to see her come out because she was on the floor. He destroyed her, and it was to see her come.
I wouldn't say he destroyed me.
I wouldn't say he destroyed her. You got pretty skinny.
Broken heart.
You got pretty skinny.
Oh, that was the great bit.
Yeah, that was a good bit. You had that.
Broken heart, but stick thin.
It was a tough one, but to see her come back and the public embrace her like they did,
it was great.
I was well proud of them.
6 weeks I did, and I thought I was going to go out in the first week. So I was proud of myself.
It was my clothes were dripping wet though.
He wouldn't come and see me live.
I couldn't do it. I was a mess.
He couldn't.
Too stressful.
I was a mess. I remember my car got towed at Arsenal.
But you're like this.
I come out of Arsenal, my car was gone. I was like, oh no. So I went to the Pound and I was trying to make it back to watch the show. And it was Saturday night, Arsenal, but I think Arsenal had won, so I was okay. But I got to the impound. I said, look, I'm really sorry. I said, could you put the telly on? I said, I need to watch my mum on there.
It's so fun.
So I'm sitting in the car pound watching and sweating.
What a Rolling Stones kind of guy. Rock and roll, watching it in the pound.
Silly.
Oh, dude. It was
recorded it, darling.
I don't know, in them days,
It's only 2009.
You need to be live though, didn't it, really, when you're on there? I'm glad she never went on Celebrity Get Me Out, but she went on that.
That would be a lot.
That would have been painful, but she went on did the Island, Bear Grylls.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that.
That was great.
You did amazingly.
But it's terrible. I didn't wear any makeup. It was horrendous.
I
love the surviving part.
There was no food, was there? I mean, they just put you. It's not like Celebrity where you win food. You've got to catch your own food.
We had to catch food.
They don't even give you food.
I caught the first fish, actually.
Amazing.
Yeah. And then I became chef. So I...
could taste it while you were cooking for everyone.
But we didn't get many fish. What's his name? Who was in Martin Kemp? He liked to gut the fish. Who's
the other guy? The guy from Anyways Essex that was on there?
Pete Wicks.
Yeah, that's it, Pete Wicks.
Nice.
Pete Wicks.
He was great.
Good guy.
I love the island.
She's done all this stuff, all these great shows, but there's no man. Where's the man? Where's your next ex-husband?
Where's your next ex-husband? Lining up lawyers.
I'm busy.
That takes me on to a part where you've got your book, which is so exciting.
This is hilarious.
Your
absolutely hilarious.
So, yes, so I decided, well, I didn't decide. I went on a date and this guy told me about how he split up with his wife. And when I'd finished the date, I was walking back to my car and I thought, what a great start to a book. And it just kept playing in my head and my head and my head. And then, so then last year, my friend said, why don't you write it? Because I kept writing notes, loads of notes on my phone. And in the end, I did 50,000 words on my phone, on my notes. And then I went and got a laptop because everybody was saying, how can you possibly be writing a book on that? Went and got a laptop. My son-in-law, Jack, put it all onto my laptop and I was off. It was great. Amazing. So it's a book about a woman called Florence, Flo, and she finds out her husband's been having an affair for 5 years. Or was it 3 years? Did I do 3 or 5? I can't remember. She kicks him out. She looks at herself and sees that she's let herself go. And she starts to get herself together. And then she goes back to work as an actress, as an older actress, because she's in her 50s.
And this happens a lot as well now. Yeah. You know, lots of men.
It's all about not being a victim.
Yeah, normalise it.
Picking yourself up.
Yeah.
Getting back out there. Getting back dating again. And enjoying life.
And the fun stories that come along.
Yeah.
Love that. Just a little bit, Jamie, I'd like to touch on you as a father.
Yes, nice.
Because I think you've had this experience, a couple of messages that you thought from your childhood and experience that you didn't want to give to your children.
Yeah, I think so. I think with me, I had my first child when I was young. I was 24.
I had him when I was 19.
Yeah, so I was 24.
So he made me a granny really young. I was horrified.
Yeah. So I had my first son at 24. I'd already been with the lady since I was 16. So we'd been together, you know, I think we split up basically when my son was 1. We split up. We'd been together from 16 to 26. It caused it run its course. But, you know, very shocking for me at the time to be experiencing something like that. No one ever tells you when you're growing up that this is going to happen, that you're in your mind, I'm having a kid, I'm having a Ferrari, I'm having a flat, you know, you have that vision when you're younger, but when you actually hit with something like, you know, I'm lost my son, it was tough for me, but it made me more determined than ever at 24 to be there, or 25, to be there every single weekend.
But Charlotte was very good.
She was very good, but because you know, just because of, you know, I was paying, you know, she kept her sweet.
Another lesson.
Yeah, she
pay the bills,
pay the maintenance, and you get to see your kid. And for me, having a relationship with my ex was important because I wanted to know his first steps. I wanted to know, but I was there. I was a big time obsessed with being a dad, and I think, well, I didn't really have the best father figure. It was even more of a thing for me to be the best dad I can be, and then I met my wife, and then we had another child.
3 children.
I had 3 children with her, and very much, you know, I'm very much old school dad. You know, I respect. You know, talk to me like that. You know, there's.
Which I think you got from me, because if ever you were cheeky to me, I had a real go at you.
Yeah. Discipline is important. Respect for your elders, which I don't see enough today, is the thing that I was brought up with. You know, if someone's older, you respect them. You don't say anything to them. You know, if they're wrong, you don't call them out. I say to my son, even if I'm wrong, you don't say anything. You know, but you know, but with my children as well, I like to feel that we're best of mates. So I work with my 25-year-old Charlie from the previous. We work together. He's a great kid. Leo, who's 19, he's a GB. You know, it's been a lot of work with him. You know, I'd sit there in a dirty car park in Mitcham outside a dodgy boxing gym, waiting for him to come out for 2 hours, thinking my dad would never have done that for me.
That's nice.
So I drive I'm everywhere with him still now, because you've got to go all over the country to all these different fights, and then there's all
it takes dedication of the parents.
And the training. He can't drive yet still. He's nearly 20. He had no time to have because he's always at GB. He's been at England. He's national champion. He's got about to fight next week. So I'm all over the place. Like today, I had to get someone else. My other son took him to the gym. So we're doing it. And then I've got Kobe, who's sort of 16, who's at school. And then I've got little Bo, who's 10, and he's a footballer. So really trying to install, your morals and your manners, and as well as work ethic, and trying to find their passion. Because if they can find their passion, saves me a lot of time and money.
Yeah, it's true.
And you know which way to push them. Leo's been a dream because he's such an amazing fighter.
And the great thing about being a fighter, and all the discipline, he has never drunk, he's never smoked, he's
no
never
drugs.
taken a drug at all. For a boy of 20.
Handsome boy of 20.
Yeah.
Handsome boy. He's very respectful. He's well mannered. He used to be a bit of a nar, but now he's like, Dad, don't do that. Don't. I pull up at GB. He's like, just go. Don't see the other boxers. He wants me out. So, but
well, that's his age, isn't it?
Yeah,
he's ready to fly.
It's I'm pushing my son. Where my dad didn't do that for me, I can't think of a time where my dad helped me anything to do with business. I'm okay, he'd lend me some money or pay for stuff, which is great, but I needed direction, I needed support, and that wasn't there from a male figure.
If you were to describe your mum in 3 words, that'd be great. And the second question would be, if your children would describe you in 3 words. Give me 3 strong words.
Well, can I say hot?
Love that.
God.
Mum's hot. Loyal. Be loyal. She's loyal to me. She stood by me for many years when I was bad. And kind. I think were the three words.
Oh, thank you.
And what would your children say about their dad?
A nutter.
Yeah, Zed. Generous. I never say no. I always give them what they want. If I got it, they can have it. I'll give them my last penny. I don't care. Annoying.
Lovely.
And maybe a bit of a disciplinarian. Is that the right word? But yeah.
Disciplinarian.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I wouldn't say strict, but maybe I'd change that and call it friend.
Friend.
Yeah, I'd like to think that they see me as a friend.
On reflection, knowing you, I would say both of you are unbelievable humans. I really, really think the world of you both. But I think your children would say to you, from the lack of what you had, that you are their emotional security, 110%. You've got their back. And that breeds through the children. Because I speak to them, offline, and I think you are 100% there.
Oh yeah,
it's a great learning.
And that's our duty. That's what do. If you have a baby,
yeah, I agree.
I've had friends that have turned their back on their children, and I won't talk to them. I don't want that. So I don't know that sort of person in my life. So I'm a bit sensitive when it comes to that. If no matter what the situation, you have that child, that's your responsibility, mate. Perfect. Deal with it.
Before we wrap up, I just want to take for longevity.
Yes.
So let's just.
I come bearing gifts.
Always.
Yes. I don't know if I gave you my comics before, did I?
Maybe.
I might.
You sent them to Aaron.
Okay.
Gary can have some. Gary,
this is for Gary, and then I wrote a book, Gary, on cannabis.
You're gonna learn.
It's a coffee table book, and it shows how far legal cannabis has come in the last sort of 10 years.
There you go.
For your to show that fact about the legal cannabis.
Wow.
Where am I? Here we go. I've just a little chemical, not
Pass
chemical,
that,
but a little thing. The cure, not the cure, sort of the cure.
Yeah, and there's so much research now in terms of, even we were speaking before about products and looking at CBD.
Yeah, well, because the cannabis, the THC, that the hallucinogenic, the hallucinogenic active part is only one part of such an amazing plant that gives off so many different medical properties that He can help the world. Save the world.
True. Save the world. Here he is.
So I've got a couple of books there, a book each for you then.
Oh, thank you very much. How to make Yes, Daddy.
Yes, Daddy.
Yes, Daddy.
Oh, you wrote that all?
Yes, Daddy. That's what I'm saying. I'm coming back with some dollar and some questions.
Dollar and
Thank
questions.
you very much. Take that, Mum. You can have
Rich, I've got the microphone in front of my face.
No, that's I bought for Mum.
Oh, nice.
It's longevity tablets that we are.
Oh, wow.
With,
Thank you.
Yeah. That's
Thank you so much. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the Mumtrepreneur Podcast.
It was quick. I want more.
You want more?
Yeah.
We'll do a V2.
Settle down.
We'll do a V2.
Yeah,
Loads more
absolutely.
stories.
Yeah.
Loads more stories. And I really look forward to seeing longevity on the shelf.
Yes. With your help, of course.
Yeah, of course. We're going to get some big guys in and see what we can do. Lots of love
Let's
to you
go.
both.
Thank you very much for having us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
It's been great.
Thank you, Gary.
Been good.
Wow. I mean, the first thing I noticed was how quickly the time went. And isn't it great when you're listening to people, and what a story. Failure, difficulty, success,
Then
more difficulty, more failure, difficulty, success. And isn't that common with a lot of entrepreneurs? But the vision, the opportunity, and spotted everything. There was an opportunity, and that opportunity was spotted and then dealt with. Because so many people failure to implement FTI. Do you remember that one? The lesson, failure to implement. They see the opportunity, not really sure whether they take that opportunity, and not sure how to develop that. But that was fantastic from Jamie, those different opportunities. So really excited.
And I think it's difficult because being a child of someone in the public eye and then choosing your path. But it's so fantastic now that he's found his own and the learnings he had from being the child, he's now implemented in his life, a little bit like, as we now do as a family, like making more memories and spending more time, being more present, because that's what we lacked and we learned that. But it's lovely to see that full circle. And together as a dynamic duo, they're hilarious. And the energy they have together, it just works. And it's a pleasure to be in a room with them.
Yeah.
So listening to the story and hearing the real truth is not polished. And I love that. It's the vulnerable side. It's the raw edge. I've known Jamie quite a few years, but what a fantastic family has been created from some turbulent situations. And their businesses now are thriving in a way that's exciting for them both.
Well, and also, Joe writing a book at 70, I know how difficult that was because I wrote a book at 70 for the first time.
You could start a book club for over 70s.
For over 70s, yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But listen, you want to read her book.
Yeah.
That's just a factual, it's fictional, not based on any true story.
Yeah, I gathered that.
So I found it quite interesting, their relationship, things that Jamie brought up was like annoying, I didn't want to listen, I wanted to go off and be rebellious because of the situation. I suppose I was quite like that at 16 to now. But I think when I looked into our relationship at some stages, I'd tell you an idea and it would be aggravating for me because I wasn't mature enough to understand and their dynamic. But I look at them now as adults and I think we're very similar. The relationship we have, we laugh a lot, we make loads of memories. We both have strong skill sets. I come to you for advice because I know you've made the mistakes and you come to me for creativity. And what I love about what's happened is you can now see 360, which 10 years ago you couldn't. And actually I watch it in their relationship is that Jamie was like, don't tell me about organic, don't tell me about organic. And now he's like, Mum, this powder, that powder, I'm building a product. So it's really interesting, the dynamic. I think that comes with age and experience and the loyalty. And that's always been my key thread, loyalty. And he said that about his mum.
Yeah, and how lucky we are and how lucky they are in the fact that there's still that relationship going on. And you hope that all generations get on with their parents the same way, or children. So whichever way you're looking at it. But yeah, when you go through the teenage years, you struggle. And I told you before, in the animal world, that's why some That's why some animals eat their young, because they're real pain. So,
And I think it does come with that surplus of working at it. It's not given, and that has to be taken. It's not, you're my dad, I'm your daughter, that's just it. There is a hard work, and I know we've worked through it, and clearly going through difficult times made them stronger by working at that. And, you know, I love the hair flick and the eye roll of Joe when Jamie says something that accurates. I assume you
3 words describing my mum: hot. It's not something that most children would say about their mum. So that's a fantastic relationship.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool day.
Very cool guest.
Yeah.
Very cool.